distinct sense of confidence among the people, the patrons who have turned out here over the last 3 days. That's based on people's recognition that our country is making progress from very difficult circumstances that we've been in for the last number of years. I think I should say that one face is missing here who was a constant attender at the Ploughing Championships, and that's the late Sean McConnell, who always had a particular flavour to his offerings as a reporter for many years with the national media. We miss Sean's comments and his presence at the Ploughing Championships this year. I have to say, from reports I'm getting from people who've been around through the magnificent site here, the business has been very brisk. A lot of new machinery on show here, a lot of new engineering products that are based in Ireland and manufactured in Ireland. This morning I was in the National Convention Centre. There were 700 buyers from all over the world looking at the products that Irish farmers and Irish producers make in the interest of what it is that they produce. That's been an exceptional talent, I have to say, and exceptionally well attended. We expect that the agri exports in food and drink will top 10 billion for 2014, which is quite exceptional. I note from the Chagos report that the fodder situation is around 8% ahead of target, which is good, and the payments are starting to go to the disadvantaged areas and single farm payments over the next period. So all in all, from a farming point of view, there is an air of confidence building towards the milk quotas being abolished, and from that point of view, there's great interest in land transactions and in creating opportunities for young farmers for the time ahead. This is a great showcase of modern Ireland, and it's here that you meet the entire spread of Irish society, and it's a great occasion to be here in Mahaniske. And I just want to say I agree with Anna May and all her people. The volunteer concept here has been extraordinary. All of the car parking arrangements, all of the other facilities that are made available, and a streamlining of this has been due to the care and the attention and the diligence put into the preparation by An Garda Síochána, and we would like to thank them very particularly for the outstanding job that they've done here. And we wish everybody safe home from the Ploughing Championships when they return and make the return journey this evening, this afternoon. Thank you.
Taoiseach, could I ask you firstly, it has been the best attended Ploughing Championships in the history of the event, but there are a lot of farmers out there today who have suffered a loss in their single farm payments because of the government deal that you came back from Europe with this year. Could you respond specifically to the request that your government might give a commitment today to co-fund the Pillar 2 payments, that you will support the work that's going on in rural development over the course of the next tranche of funds?
Well, the presidency of the Union, which we held from January to June, included some very complex arrangements. One was to get approval for the budget for the Union itself from 2014 to 2020. The other was the Common Agricultural Policy Reform and issues like the EU-US mandate. And there is 2.2 billion in there for rural development programs. That's about 300 million per year for Ireland. In that sense, it's quite complicated to work out what the arrangements will eventually be. Suffice it to say, Ciarán, that what we want to do in Ireland is to continue to draw down the maximum amount from the funds that are available and use them to best effect in the rural programs that will eventually be approved and transpire. So it's too early to say what the extent of assistance will be. It is a very complicated arrangement, but our intention is to draw the maximum amount of funds down for best use.
Taoiseach, tomorrow marks a week to voting day for the referendum. Democracy Matters claim that the people are taking no interest in this vote. You as Taoiseach, who have led this campaign to abolish Shannon, would it be right that you should engage in a debate? I understand RT are still waiting for a response from you or your office about taking part in a debate on the vote.
I attended at a public meeting last night in Dublin with 200 people. I attended a public meeting the night before with 250 people. I intend to canvass in Blanchardstown and in Liffey Valley tomorrow and other places. And every opportunity that we have, we engage with people in what's important here. Now, this morning at 7 o'clock, I had all of the representatives from Connacht, Ulster and Leinster to report on progress that they've made in terms of leaflet drops and collection. I make this point again. I engage in debates every week. This is a referendum. It's not a general election. This rests in the hands of the people. And God knows, people for long enough have given out about politicians and what they do or what they don't do. Here's an opportunity for people to vote yes for the abolition of Seanad Éireann, which has no power, which has no responsibility in terms of holding the government to account, which is costing 20 million a year, and which is an opportunity for people to vote yes and to assist government action here to streamline politics, the way politics is conducted, and to open up our legal system in terms of laws being drafted and prepared to the people and the civic sectors of society which have been ignored for too long. So it's part of a process of change, and I will continue up until the close of polls on Friday to express the view that the position that we set out was very clear before the last election. All parties campaigned on that. All parties had it in their programmes before the last election, and some have changed their tune for their own reason.
Taoiseach, €200,000 has been discovered stashed at a mansion in Dublin over recent days. Obviously this is a mansion that had previously been repossessed. Are you concerned that this raises questions about the current bankruptcy regime with regards to background checks as to individuals' assets or whatever resources they have?
Well, I understand that an inch-by-inch survey or investigation has been carried out both on this residence and on the grounds of the premises to see is there any more there. I think all of that smacks of what happened during the so-called Tiger years, when you had prolificacy and greed and money sloshing around in so many places, that this is further evidence of what happened. NAMA have obviously a clear interest in this, and we'll see what transpires from the investigation that's currently underway.
Taoiseach, are you worried that the growing rump of opposition to government policy, led by Lucinda Creighton, could presage a split in your own party?
What growing rump of opposition are you talking about?
Well, day by day there seems to be more people who don't adhere to the Fine Gael and government direction.
Well, in respect of the Fine Gael party, let me assure you that our rules are very clear. That the members of the parliamentary party are entirely focused on doing what we have to do, and that is continue to work with government and in government to take our country out of the mess that we inherited, to provide stability, to provide growth, to provide jobs. That's where my interest is. That's where the interest of the Fine Gael party is. That's where the interest of the government is. And you can sense people's attitude in this ploughing championship site, that they see progress being made. We still have a long way to go. I am focused entirely on the economy, on the country, and on our people. That's my charge, that's my mandate, and if people want to leave the party and form different opinions than they signed on for a number of years ago, that's perfectly okay.
Reform Alliance, the letter law growth and party equivalent disciplinary action in the high. I guess we have to go for and part the boundary of the initiative. And then we'll draw back to the party like that for this topic, the Reform Alliance, capital that you're right a real fish in the mass.
Well, Nivium's a deal election a hundred bit. They can do more good for Garon and stock free one of the pipe near pay or have structured parties. Of course, there's chicken party, Vince jail on the ship. Because she chorus gun coal in the bay. I just more for Garon put a stock, Kahashits and jail on lesh. You'd be in Posh arms and black fishing.
You to know the Spain for you to discipline.
Neil?
Can I just ask, there's a lot of anger at the accounts committee yesterday when Patrick Monahan appeared before the members. Are you surprised with the decision of the central bank not to pursue further action, given the revelations that we heard in the tapes that were?
Well, I have no wish to interfere in any way here with the judicial process and the independent process of court hearings following charges that have been preferred by the DP in Kingdom. I heard some of the engagement between the Oireachtas Committee and Patrick Horn. I think my view from what I heard is that the governor spelled out just exactly what the powers of the central bank are, that the central bank are using those powers to the extent of their limit, and his expressed wish that banks would respond earlier and more effectively and more speedily in the cases involved here. I've already made it clear that if the governor approaches government for any extra power that he may need or may require, government will certainly consider that. So, for its part, the Oireachtas now has to set about holding its parliamentary inquiry within the remit and the range of that it can, and that process will continue. The governor, from his perspective, has spelled out what he considers is the position which the bank is.
Taoiseach, I can see Sean Kelly MEP beside there. The Boundary Commission report for Europe was released yesterday. Have you made a decision yet? Has we been running consistency? Ray McGuinness is here today. Where might she stand?
Well, the report is very clear. I think it was more or less expected that it might be A3 and 2/4s, but consideration was always as to where the line would be. We accept the report, obviously. The Minister for Environment has responded to that, and the party and its structures will now look at the constituencies, look at those who are sitting MEPs, look at candidates who are offering, and make a decision in the normal way.
Okay, thanks everybody. Okay, close the business.